It's time to get rowdy in Richmond. Here we go under the lights this week on Easter Sunday. Who will be the one to hop across that finish line at the end of the night race?
I like that. That was funny.
Yeah, it seemed like it was funny. You laughed real hard. You kind of just said,
Hey, I'm sick, but it was definitely funny. And I'm displaying so much exuberance for this race because it is Easter Sunday, and that's just a day to relax and just watch TV, throw in some March Madness on a couple TVs, and just have a time.
The only thing sick is I'm sick of your shit recently. I can't stand how much you're killing me in our pick'em. It's ridiculous. You got another win, another big win this week, and I'm not even gonna talk about the points today, but it's not close.
Yeah, that's why you come to me for the betting advice, everyone. And this is not legal betting advice, forewarning, but I think it's a good thing to think about to take into account what I'm saying. And with that said, I just want to brag about my lock of the century last week with Almondinger top 10. I was an easy cash. Hope everybody followed that.
Yeah, I sure didn't, and I am feeling the pain this weekend, or I guess it's during the week now, but tax returns came through, not good. Bet on that race, not good. I mean, I got to get new tires this week, not good. So I think maybe I may have to start riding with you.
Yeah, and you turn 26 this upcoming month, which
Oh,
just means you have to start paying health insurance.
I've
I'm
been
in the
thinking that.
same boat as you, especially this year's tax returns. I owed a good amount of money just because of all the betting I do and how much I win. So I
Yeah,
can't complain.
yeah, that's ridiculous. Anyway, we were talking about Goodyear tires last week. That was the story of the short track at Bristol. I need new tires, like I just said. And now you said, is it gonna affect anything? Well, I'm second guessing my Goodyears. I have Goodyear SRAs on my truck right now, and I looked at the price of those, and I was like, damn, that's not that good of a price. And I've replaced those things so many times since I bought this truck. It's only a 2014, and I put I don't know how many sets of tires on that thing, so 150,000 miles. I feel like those tires are supposed to go like 70,000, and it's not been close.
Yeah, I mean, NASCAR's showing it. They don't even have the tires don't even work for them. So I wouldn't go back with Goodyears. I just get the Bridgestones.
Right. Now,
Bridgestone
Bridgestones?
should be the official tire of NASCAR.
Yeah, if anyone wants to sponsor this podcast, we are open. You listen to this podcast ad free, brought to you by our broke banks. So, oh, anyway, let's talk a little bit about last week. I don't want to spend too much time on it. Um, if you watched it, I'm sorry that you had to spend that much time watching a race that I think was not NASCAR's best showing. It's cool that you get to race a different kind of track. I like the idea of the Circuit of the Americas. But on TV, it's just not working for me to keep my interest through the entire race, and I just don't stay engaged. I have a few reasons why, but I want to hear your take on it.
Yeah, I mean, road races are just not that exciting. The only exciting parts of road races are the restarts, and you didn't have any other than the stage breaks this week at COTA. So, yeah, just not exciting. And you also see it in Formula One, too. I hate to keep bringing it up, but those races are so boring as well. I mean, there's rarely any cautions other than the beginning of the race where that first turn, you might see someone crash. But other than that, you're just long green flag runs. You did see almost at the end of the race between Bell and Byron. Bell was trying to chase him down at the end. He was getting close. He just needed a few more laps, probably. But other than that, there's really nothing exciting about that race.
Yeah, I agree. I think Bell would have got him with one more lap. If not one, he could have got him at two. He was definitely the fastest car on the track. when we got under 5 laps to go, and he just continued to gain on him. And I agree, that was the most exciting part of the entire race was can he get there or can he not? I think he started that lap 2.5 seconds back, and he brought it under a second at one point. I think it was 0.66 seconds. And I feel like on a road course, the one good thing about a road course is there's a lot of chances for a mistake. All those turns have to be hit perfectly. On these ovals or the semi ovals, um, these these race car drivers, like, they know what they have to do every single time. And so there should be a little bit more room for error, a lot more room to make up 3 seconds in one lap. That's for sure. But that was fun to watch. But overall, yeah, I would say not a fun race until they got to pit lane, when I thought we were going to see an all-out brawl. We saw old-timer Kyle Busch. I say old-timer not because he's super old, but this is the old Kyle Busch that we're used to. He came out ready to pounce on Christopher Bell. Did you see
That's
that?
I did not see that, but that's awesome. I was ready to see something with Kyle Busch in the news because he's been quiet all year. I think he just needs something to fire him up because he's been underperforming. So hopefully this does that to him.
Yeah, I think it will. I think if nothing else, we're going into another short track where we know Kyle Busch is really good and we know Christopher Bell is really good. And if they are running up there near the top, Kyle Busch now has it out for Christopher Bell. Um, if you missed it, Bell had spun Kyle Busch on one of the turns. I can't remember exactly which lap it was, but that wasn't the only time he spun someone. He also spun the number 5, Kyle Larson. So he had something against the Kyles this week. But he's when approached by Kyle Busch, he honestly kind of cowered. He kind of stepped back, looked a little scared, like the old scared puppy dog, and
Yeah.
kind of just tried to diffuse the situation. And I don't have audio on it, but it seemed like he was just like, "Sorry, yeah, okay, I'm sorry, I did that." Yep.
Yeah, I mean, he's a young guy. He's kind of small. And when a veteran comes at you like that, I would probably be the same way.
Yeah, that's true. And Kyle Busch, he's not afraid to really do anything, and he's definitely not afraid of what NASCAR may do to him if he were to throw that punch. He'd take the
Yeah.
suspension in strides and just grow his popularity doing it.
Yeah. And I haven't seen any suspensions or anything come out. So no fines or anything that I believe. So yeah, but hopefully that lights a fire under him. Like I said, I want to see him perform well. Maybe here you could probably get him at a good price. I don't have any bets on him this week, but yeah, he might be a good underdog pick.
Yeah, I agree. Um, Only other thing I really want to talk about. Well, we kind of skipped over why I thought that the the road courses may not be the best for TV watchers. And the race was on Fox, wasn't it? Was it Fox or NBC? Because I this is just my opinion. I could be wrong, and I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, but that's why we're here. We drink and we hurt people's feelings. We talk shit. We gossip. That's what we do. That's what a podcast is. But anyway, Fox does a horrible, horrible job when it comes to camera angles, and um, I'm gonna look like a total ass if this was NBC that filmed this one. But either way, um, it was filmed so badly you couldn't see more than 3 cars at a time, and I know that's the nature of a road course. You can't get all the cars on the screen at one time, but you're missing so much action. All the bumping and grinding and all the passing, that's not happening in the top 3 drivers. You have to be able to see what's happening and the development of how things start to happen. I don't want to see uh, Christopher Bell after he made the top 3. I want to see how he got from 12 to 3 in a lap and a half. That's what I want to find out. So I feel like you just don't see that very much. Um, and Fox is guilty of that. It's almost like when the cars are coming closer to you, they're zooming in, when really you should be zooming out to get the bigger picture. I don't know. Maybe I should go to film school and realize how hard this is, and then I can just shut up. But that's just the way I see it. I want to see more racing, and a road course doesn't give me that.
Yeah, which is weird because I mean there just in general is not as much passing going on in road courses. Um, but yet the passing that is in road course is more technical, so it is a lot cooler to see passing than it is on the oval. And there's just so many turns, especially at Coda. There's like 20 something turns. So yeah, there's gonna have to be camera crews everywhere, just in the right spot at the right time. I mean, I know you could get recording like rewinds and everything, but I think there's just not as much opportunity to get good film. And I don't know. I haven't been to film school either, so I don't know the best
Yeah,
way
but
to get it. So
I
I'm
feel
not
like
going to complain all that much.
F1 gets a better view of these. And by the way, I just double checked. It was on Fox, so we have that to look forward to this week too. Fox again. Um, but it should be better on a short track. Anyway, I think they have a lot to figure out. Maybe get a. This is what our solution always was when we didn't want to like produce our podcast or run the social media or anything. They should get an intern with a fresh mind.
I
And
agree. Yeah.
get an intern who's all, happy and giddy to find something new and pay them next to nothing to figure out all your issues, and then maybe hire them full time and not pay them nearly enough, and they die thinking about how, you know.
Yeah, I agree. They don't need to get paid. They love doing what they want to do.
Yeah. Right, that got dark. I was just going through a hiring thing with my guys. So, anyway, we are racing under the lights on Easter Sunday, and the Christ has risen, and who will rise to the top?
You know who's gonna rise to the top?
Who's that?
It's gonna be Christopher Bell.
You
I'm
think
really
so?
high on him and Toyotas. You just look at them; they're dominant the last couple of races. Look back to Phoenix, and yeah, I mean, Phoenix is the closest racetrack that you can compare. I think this year. I know Phoenix is an intermediate. This is considered a small track, short track. But I
A
think,
small
yeah,
one.
it's just a
A
little
little
guy.
baby
It's
track.
a little, little baby Jesus. Um,
No, we're talking about the full-grown man dying on a cross, bud. Not.
oh yeah, that's
Don't.
Christmas.
We're not talking about the little baby Jesus. We're not Ricky Bobby here. I
Well,
like the baby one better. I like Christmas Jesus. Wrong holiday. We don't get to race on Christmas. That'd
I
be fun.
know that's bad. But yeah, I think Jesus is gonna ring the bell with Chris Bell, and he's gonna take home
Oh,
the
jeez.
win here.
Ah, man. People that are really into like going to church and reading the Bible, man, they're gonna hate this one. But yeah, we're on the 3/4 of a mile track. We got 400 laps to go, 300 miles. And I don't think it was a coincidence that this track is sponsored by the Toyota owners. Because if you look at the top four drivers in odds right now, the most favored drivers, all come from the Toyota camp.
Yeah, and that's crazy. Virginia is for racing lovers, I believe, is the marketing of this race.
Do they
And
call it racing lovers?
yeah, because Virginia is for lovers is like the state motto.
Is
So
this Pride Month too? Or are we
I
past
don't
that?
know. I think it's National Gambling Month or
Oh,
something.
okay, that works.
Gambling awareness.
That's probably closer up our alley.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, Richmond's just a cute city in general. I mean, I've lived around there for a few years now. My dad's up there. There's a lot of breweries and like wineries, and you could travel an hour, get to the mountains. Downtown Richmond is pretty clean. There's a lot of history there. There's always something to do. I've never been to the track yet. I've been itching to go. I know my family has been there and they loved it.
You're itching.
Itching.
Well, who else do you have itching up the rankings here?
Well,
Besides the Toyotas, because I already mentioned that there's going to be 4 top Toyotas in odds, and that would be Christopher Bell, who you just said you liked. Like you, I agree with everything you said there, and with a strong finish like last week, the only thing that's going to take him down is
Kyle Busch.
the other drivers that may have got a little bit frustrated with him last week. You got Denny Hamlin, who also has no problem making enemies. But again, a great driver when it comes to short tracks. Obviously, won in Bristol, so he'll be looking to repeat on short tracks in 2024. Martin Truex showed up really well in Bristol as well, and just couldn't finish it. Had a little bit of the tire situation, which we may see again coming out to a short track. And
I'm
then
hoping.
the hot Ty Gibbs.
Yeah, the
He's
fan
on fire
favorite
right now.
this year by far, Ty Gibbs. Everybody is rooting for him to get his first win. And I think this could be easily a race to win it for him. If you could get him, I know he's plus 850, I think I see, which is fairly good price. I might snag him maybe for a top 5. But if you could get him any 850 or better, then hop on that, because Ty Gibbs, easy. This is a really good pick for Ty Gibbs. And like, Bell is the favorite right now, but with Kyle Busch, might just spin him out just for funsies. Who knows?
Could be. I sort of like Tyler Reddick here, and he had one of those finishes that he would say, okay, like, I mean, we finished, we weren't in the back, we weren't up there, we're not proud of it, but he'll take it. I mean, he was in the top 5, but it just, he never showed that glimpse of like, I'm gonna be there. But he has been a pole winner at Richmond. He has led 81 laps, and he has still not finished top 10 in 7 races in Richmond. And you may say, well, why would you be high on him then? Well, he obviously shows he can be the fastest car on the track. Of course, when there's no one else out there in his qualifying laps. But he also has 81 lead laps. He can lead, and he can make it through that pack. It's just, can he seal the deal? And being middle of the road driver this week, you might be able to get him on odds too.
Yeah, and to add on to that, I have Reddick in my Dick's picks for Group C winner. That group consists of Tyler Reddick, Blaney, Kyle Busch, and Chase Elliott. Reddick is the only Toyota in that group, so I thought this was a lock already. And his odds are plus 270 just to beat those 3. I don't think Fords have a shot. I'm big on analyzing drivers based on manufacturers. I bring it up almost every week, it seems like. Kyle Busch has just been off all year. Chase Elliott hasn't shown anything either. So I think this is one of my locks this week. Tyler Reddick to win Group C at plus 270.
I like it. Do you have anything else about this race in particular?
I could go into entertainment at the campground.
Yeah. Go ahead, because what I wanted to touch on was current standings over, for the whole season so far.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I think let's go into what you can do in and around the track this weekend in Richmond. Whether it's a Easter egg hunt and you're waiting for the Easter bunny to hide your baskets or bring you chocolate, or well, I don't know what else really
Yeah,
happens.
no, that's actually one of the things to do there is they have the extravaganza egg hunt. Extravaganza. Get it? And so there's a dozen eggs hidden around the infield of Richmond.
Only a dozen?
There's 12. Yes, that's it. And
Well, I guess
you download this app and you go around and you scan a QR code whenever you find the eggs, I guess. And once you get all 12, you get to win prizes and you get to enter sweepstakes. I don't know what prizes they are,
Oh,
but
I see. So there's not 12 eggs for all, like, 10,000 fans that are going to be on the infield.
no.
Okay, you go and scan
they
them.
share the eggs.
Okay, I got you.
That's cool.
Yeah, that would have been madness. I know that even if our normal infield crew would have got a hold of that, we'd be running around tackling each other for those eggs.
Yeah, I know. I'm sure people are gonna wake up and do Easter egg hunts with adults too, like an adult Easter egg hunt, hide like little liquor
Little
bottles,
shooters.
little shooters everywhere. Yeah, that's
Great
always
idea.
fun. I've been doing that past years. There's Easter Bunny photos Saturday and Sunday, 9 a.m. to 10:45 in the fan zone. There's a petting zoo too, Saturday and Sunday in the fan zone, almost all day. I love petting zoos. I think they're the coolest thing. You get up close to animals. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they have the Easter Bunny locked up in it.
You're whack.
I don't know. I'm sick. Sick in the
Is
head.
that Robitussin in you?
Yeah, that NyQuil. Um, Sunday, you got Easter service at 3 p.m. You're gonna have some guest speakers. Joe Gibbs and Corey LaJoy going to be there. You got the bunny
Those guys
hop.
probably would not be approving of the beginning of our podcast today.
Maybe not. I don't know. We got the bunny hop camper welcome party at the Sheet Scout Village, 5 to 7 on Friday. The first 100 people there get free Richmond Speedway blankets. Pretty cool. Always good to get free stuff. And then Hoppy Hour get it at the NASCAR Experience in the fan zone. First 100 drink orders get a free collectible Richmond cup. And then all throughout the weekend, there'll be a strolling concert, which I can only assume is people are playing music and being towed along around the whole campground, which sounds
Almost
pretty
like a parade, but they got a stage on there.
Yeah, something like that.
Pretty cool. Nice. And then obviously you already talked about Richmond's a cool area. There's a lot of
Richmond
stuff.
in general, like it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot to do at the stadium or like in the camping area. But
I mean,
Richmond, to go downtown in Richmond, it's not
Yeah.
that hard to get in and out. It's pretty close to the track. There's a lot to do there. It's so historic. I would recommend going into the city at this track, which I don't say often because tracks are usually in the middle of nowhere or in the middle of shitty cities.
You hear that, NASCAR?
Hashtag Atlanta.
Oh boy. All right. Well, let's move on to looking at the season as a whole after how what is that? Six races. So we're going into race number 7 on the year, and let's just do a little bit of a standings update. We're not going to go through all the standings with you because if you really want to know the most up to date standings, just Google it. I mean, it's right there. But what I was not surprised to see was a bunch of the Joe Gibbs guys and the Hendrick guys rounding out the top 10. What do you think? I mean, that surprised you, right?
I agree. The Hendrick, yeah, and Toyotas obviously. So I like Kylar and Willie B.
Yeah.
2 Hendricks. I still off Chase Elliott for a little bit, but
yeah, I mean, I'm off of him, but he has a stage win that's keeping him up there in the top 10. He's only led 18 laps all year, which is really low for a driver of that caliber and to be in the top 10. But he's had average finishes like every time, you know? So, I mean, of course, he did have.
He's a great driver. He's going to grind for some good finishes, decent finishes, but just not up there where he should be, like competing for a win.
Right. Now, drivers that I'm not, or that I am surprised are not there in the top 10. And I think the most disappointing driver of the year so far is Joey Logano. Joey Logano sits at the 22nd spot in his 22 Ford. Just at what is that? 100 points, which is not very high.
Yeah, I mean, he started off the season, the first 2 races really well, qualifying top 3, top 5 in both of them, winning a pole, I think, once. So, or maybe both races. But the Fords just in general, just awful.
Yeah,
I don't know. They need to figure it out. Yeah, and again, at this racetrack, I don't think they really got a shot.
Yeah, when you look at if the playoffs started tomorrow, you'd have a lot of big names that I think will there's still time this year to make that run, and the cool thing about NASCAR is you really only have to win one race to secure your spot to win a championship. Really, like once you get in, then you can make it all the way.
Yep, anything
But
could happen.
I mean, these guys in the top or the bottom 10, like they still need to be racing for something every single day. But like I said, if the playoffs started tomorrow, another guy that I would be surprised is not there is Bubba Wallace. Disappointing year also. He has not really been a part of anyone's story this year. I mean,
Yeah.
how many times have we brought him up? Like, not many.
He started off the season pretty well as well. I think 2 top 5s to start.
Did he?
Yeah, and then he fell off as well. Same with Logano. It's a long season already. I was going to bring him up as kind of someone to look at for betting this week. Toyota, again, big on them this week. I think he could get a good finish if you could get him. I think I saw him at plus 140 for a top 10. I would take a dart on that. I mean, plus money for a Toyota for a top 10. I think they're the best cars, and I could see him definitely pulling something out, maybe even a win. But I think a top 10 is pretty reasonable.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And yeah, I wanted to verify what you said. He does have 2 top 5s this year. They were both right at the beginning.
How do you feel about Josh Berry? He came in second last year at this racetrack in this fall.
Mm-hmm.
The fall and spring race, I don't know if we should bring up, but very different.
Yeah, they are. Explain why.
Well, the fall race, wait, we're in the spring right now. Spring race around Easter all the time. This is still the start of the season. When the fall race, so people are still like testing their cars, trying new things for the upcoming fall race when it's around playoff time. So they want to get their cars correct this race, so they'll be trying different things this race. So you might not see, like the favorites or maybe like playoff drivers who are already won this year. You might not see them actually up there, going to win the race because they might be testing their car out for when it comes down to the end.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's fair.
So anyway, Josh Berry.
Yeah. No, he needs to stay on the track. I know he only has one unfinished race this year, but he had some close calls and some poor finishes. A 36 in Phoenix and a 31 at the Circuit of the Americas. I just lied to you. That was his starting position. He had a 35 at the Circuit of America, so still poor. He did actually make up some ground at Phoenix, finished 26, but he's just one of those middle of the backpack, which is not going to, not gonna help you win any accolades.
Yeah, and if you guys are looking at his second place finish last year, I wouldn't read too much into that. It was just because of a strategic pit stop at the end of the race that kind of got him to second place. His numbers might be inflated on the sports books for that reason, for that second place, but that's why we do the research so you don't have to. I would fade him this week.
Yeah, we don't do that much research, though. We kind of.
Well, that's why you lose money and.
That's true. But we got to get back to it. We are a NASCAR lifestyle podcast. We are not analysts of any sort. But what are you drinking right now?
I got my Busch Light, as per usual.
Yeah. I'm on that Yingling Flight pattern.
Oh, those are good.
Yeah, that low cal. Not because they're low cal, because you could drink 29 of them and
you
not
could
be full.
You just grow the wings.
Yeah,
that's Red
Bull. I worry.
Yeah.
Cool. So let's do our picks.
Let's do it. I think I went first last week.
Yeah.
And even though I keep winning, I'll let you go first this time.
Yeah, thank you. That was very nice of you. I'm gonna keep it within the Toyota family because they're killing it, and it's their race. Toyota Owners 4. Now, I don't want to talk about it too much because I'm in between 3 of those top 4 drivers right now. But I'm gonna take a risk, and I'm gonna go with the hot hand, Ty Gibbs. He has just, I mean, the last 4 races, he's been someone we talked about, and it's only a matter of time. I keep saying that. I think I said that every podcast that it's only a matter of time, but now's his chance. Like, it really is only a matter of time till he finishes his up. Bristol, he finished stage 1 winner, stage 2 winner, and then just couldn't finish it out. But it's his race. As long as he can manage those tires and his crew is successful, I think he's the answer.
Yeah, I have nothing else to say to add to that. I think Ty Gibbs is a really good pick. With my pick, though, we've been a broken record about the Toyotas. I'm going to hop off the Toyotas. Just to make it a little interesting. I feel bad for how big my lead is.
Oh, don't you start that.
No, but Kyle Larson, the Hendricks, back-to-back wins here. I think Kyler has 4 out of 6 top 10s at this racetrack, the last 6 races, and similar at Phoenix as well. So that's a similar racetrack I like to compare this track to. So I think he has a good shot, and he needs a win too. I think this is the week that it comes.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. He is a driver that can win any week, but this track in particular, he can excel at, and I'm gonna leave it at that. He's a fast driver with a fast car from a fast team. I like it. All right, my back half driver. So that is 20 through. Well, we're gonna just cut it at 20. In the rankings and go to 36. There's only 36 drivers this week, but I really don't have that good of a reason, but I'm gonna go with Ryan Preece, and I'll tell you, it's not a good reason. It's a reason not to pick just about anyone else in the bottom 20. I think this is one of those races that you have a lot of people that can win, but there's a ton of people that are not going to be a factor. And I think when you go into, I want to say maybe I'm actually cutting it off right at Josh Berry. That's 18 in the odds this week. Josh Berry down. I can't imagine he's going to have much of a shot here. So I'm going to take Ryan Preece purely because I think he's going to suck the least.
Okay. Okay, no other analysis on that one. I have nothing on Priest, so.
No, I really don't. It's truly, I am at a loss of words for the rest of the field, and I have a gut feeling.
Okay.
It's a horrible way to do this. I mean, that's why I'm getting smoked. But
yeah, and okay. I didn't realize we were taking the bottom 20, but I believe Suarez is in that. So I would like to pick him.
He is.
And only because he has a win this year. And he is just due, I think. If you look at his last couple of races at Richmond, not great at all. So, I mean, what are the odds he has another bad race at Richmond?
Wow. We really did not do our research on the back half. Now, I want to,
no, he had a decent finish at Phoenix, so that's what I'm really basing it off of. I think he could pull something like a top 20 out of here, and that's all we need for a back half driver.
That's true. And so when you put it that way, Ryan Preece does average above a P20. So he's got an 11, a 13, a 16, a 14 finish this year. So he averages above that, and so yeah, you're right. If you can just squeeze a few points from them, that's the big thing. Let's do the random pick. I know this is sometimes pretty dreadful. I've had some really bad ones recently. But let me just make my modification here. We have 36 drivers. And do you want to go first or do you want me?
I'll go first.
All
I'm
right.
feeling lucky.
All right. Remember, this is based on odds 1 through 36. You got number 18, which this week would be Josh Berry.
Perfect. He was my rookie of the year pick, so this will just hopefully
Might as well ride with him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hopefully
give
it
you
pans out.
something to root for. That's why I like having a random driver, because you start to get in the grooves of rooting for the same drivers over and over, and they may not even be your favorite, but the guys that you think are going to win, you kind of just tend to root for them. This gets us out of your comfort zone and says, you know what? I never watch Priest. He's never up there, so I'm gonna root for him. That was not a random, but it was pretty close to one. I just got number 7, which is Chris Buescher.
Oh, nice.
That's a pretty good pick, I think.
Yeah, I think he's a good pick this week. He's probably going to be the top forward. So if you get him a good number there, he'll be top 10. If anything, he'll probably be the only forward in the top 10, but I think he has a good shot run top 10.
Yeah, I agree. I also don't really have much else to say about him. I agree that he'll probably be the best forward. Don't think that he'll make a true run at the thing, but he's going to finish probably top 15, maybe top 10, and that's great for a random. So I'm happy with it. So, you got anything else?
I don't got anything else.
So we will leave you guys to have a awesome Easter weekend. If you are celebrating that as a holiday, have a wonderful time with your family. If you're heading out to the NASCAR track, remember that you should be drinking, they should be driving. You shouldn't be doing both. But crack open a cold one with your family or with your friends and have a wonderful weekend. We will see you guys back here after the night race in Richmond.